Hello, everybody, and welcome to a brand new episode of Topic.
Thunder. God, I forgot what we were doing there for a sec.
I'm already senioritis? I'm already senioritis. Sorry about that, everybody. Yes, Topic Thunder today. We're going to jump into some questions from you all. You know, we've been loving doing the brackets, the Full Metal Bracket shows, Matt, but we also want to respect the fact that people want to ask us questions, which is what this was a show about for a very long time. So we want to go back and do that. And of course, on the precipice of our announcement, or not on the precipice, but after our announcement now, you know, we should let people know about what we're doing with this particular thing going forward in the future as well.
Yeah, we think we have enough to carry us to the end.
Yes.
It looks like, given the backlog of there's 4 or 5, maybe 6 brackets and more than enough questions. So unless you've been working on and you're almost finished with a bracket or something like that,
yeah,
you probably shouldn't put in the time, because we're not sure that we're going to get to it, and we don't want you to put in a ton of work.
Yeah,
just to send it in and us never to get to it. And then questions, if you have a question or something, maybe because sometimes we go through 3 and 4 questions.
Yeah,
on a show, so it's more likely that we get to those, but we still have quite a few questions to answer as well. So unless you have something very pressing to ask, may not need to, but if you'd like to, go right ahead. We don't want to discourage you, but we just
maybe we'll do a supersized final one of these, and we'll just answer a bunch of questions from you all. So that's a possibility as well. But yeah. But we also have plans for our final show, and it'll in essence be something that you can do that with us.
Yeah.
Live. So, you might want to hold on to your question if you're able to join us live, and you can get it answered during that show as well. So, but yes, if you want to send stuff in, great, but there's no guarantee we're going to get to it at this point because of how because of our announcement and how we've scheduled things out. So just letting you all know that from the beginning. So, all right, Matt, do you want to go ahead, man? I think it's your turn. What's our first question here that you want to get to?
All right. This comes from Fred Castillo.
Ew.
And he says, "Hey, John and Matt, thanks for taking the time to read this email. I have been rattling around in my brain for a while, and I'm interested to hear what you have to say. Most entertaining movies have very interesting characters with background stories that shape them into the hero/villains they've become. My question pertains to villains, and which ones do you believe could have the most intriguing origin story to tell? No Marvel, DC, Star Wars, or Star Trek villains, because they've already been a topic for discussion for a while. I would love to see a Sho'nuff origin from Barry Gordy's The Last Dragon movie. He's one of my favorite bad guys in movies, and I'd love to see the path he took to obtain the glow in his hands. I'm looking forward to your opinion, and have a great day. Stay well, Fred Castillo."
Ooh, that is tough to think of on the spot. So heroes and villains that are not connected to villains that are not connected to Marvel,
any of the big boys,
Star Wars or Star Trek.
Yeah.
I mean,
first
go ahead.
I was gonna say the first one I thought of was Antons Question.
Oh yeah, go ahead, man. Yeah.
Well, that's
a great choice.
You've got to build that reputation for being the go-to when you really need a job done.
Right.
This is the individual that's going to, easily handle all problems that come his way. Right. And then like is it a cattle puncher? What is that fucking thing called?
Yeah. Cattle prod. Yeah.
Well, the prod, I think, is electric.
Oh, no, you're right. The puncher is what it's called.
Yeah. It just, it shoots that little bolt into its head and it immediately causes brain death.
Yes.
I think it's called a cattle puncher.
Is it an air thing?
Yeah, it's compressed air that fires it, because he's carrying around that little tank in his offhand.
Yes.
So did he work at like a stockyard and just became so immune to killing, kind of like in It, the young kid whose grandpa, I think it was, basically just like, if you're not, fending for yourself, the world's going to eat you alive type of situation.
Right.
But did he grow up on stockyards or a farm or something? Is that how he was doing another job and saw it and the idea sparked to him? But he's a villain with a hell of a backstory that I'd love to get to know.
Yeah, it's called a captive bolt stunner from what I see here. It's a tool to shoot out door locks, and then wow, and then he uses a sound suppressed Remington 1187 semiotic shotgun and pistol, which is a Tech 9. But yeah, bolt gun. I mean, the bolt stunner bolt gun. Yeah, that thing. Whew. Maybe like someone used it on him in trying to get away from him,
Mhm.
and it didn't get him, but like he saw the ferocity of the weapon and was like, oh, this could, really limit the time in the death, and it makes it quick and clean instead of maybe struggling and choking like he does with the deputy at the beginning there when he's choking the deputy out. All
Yeah.
those squeaks on the ground and the mess that it all leaves in the trail. With a bolt gun, it's just bang, you're done. And so maybe, yeah, that's interesting. I mean, because we've seen Hannibal prequels, we've seen the Norman Bates prequel that went on for seasons on A&E. So certainly there's a and people made that Jeffrey Dahmer Netflix series, which I refuse to watch.
I
One of
couldn't
the
get
top,
into it.
huh?
I watched the first one. I couldn't get into it.
Yeah. I don't want to. I get it. Like I don't have the same level of fast. It's more about studying it and understanding it. This thing, I just had no interest in seeing all that stuff rehashed again. So yeah, that's why I didn't watch it. But like we could see, but clearly people have a fascination for this kind of stuff still. So yeah, why not? It could be interesting. Anton Chigurh's. I'm going to be boring and say Moriarty. I don't know if we've ever seen a Moriarty prequel movie.
Okay.
So that could be interesting. Like what is like you mentioned the upbringing? What is it about his upbringing that led him to walk down this path? What is it about Sherlock in his way that attracts him to be his main villain or be his nemesis? What is this all about? What's the level of intelligence he has? We saw a little bit of that in the second Sherlock Holmes film with Jared Harris, but we didn't go all the way back to see like the beginnings of Moriarty. I'm really shocked there hasn't been a series in Britain or whatever created to explore that. And maybe there has been, but I've never seen it or heard it, and I'm pretty aware of British stuff. So I'd be surprised to see that there's some Moriarty series that got all this acclaim and was so good that I just never heard about. So I think that could be fun to explore for sure.
What about like HAL 9000? And maybe there was seeds that the creators wanted to look past because it was so amazing at its job, and
Yeah.
it was leaps and bounds artificial intelligence wise above everything else. It was
Yeah.
like the deep blue of its era, and everybody was just so amazed and mesmerized by it that they turned a blind eye to the evil. And you see
Yeah.
the seeds of, hey, maybe this doesn't have, the prime directive of can't kill humans
Yeah.
as one of its operating primary functions.
Yeah. Yeah. I could see that 100%. That would be actually kind of fun to take a look at, to be honest with you. So I'd be curious because we're seeing some of that in the Megan movie.
Oh, is that what that's about?
A little bit, yeah, a little bit. So there are certainly connective tissues to the idea of Hal
Mm-hmm.
in that movie. So you could absolutely see how something like that could be constructed and built. And I think it'd be a real challenge for a filmmaker to mirror what Kubrick did in the construction of, or sorry, the overall look of the movie and the time period pieces that he used for outfits, for the design of the bridge and all that kind of stuff that would make sense or would work. I just watched that trailer for Hello Tomorrow from Apple TV that's I think set in the 50s where they're saying selling timeshares on the moon. And it's very age or time period specific. And I'd be curious to see if people could do that in doing a HAL 9000 prequel and bringing that to life, the environment of it to life. Because it's set in the future, but it has the vibe of like the 70s. So
Yeah.
that's a good one. Fuck. Is there anybody else?
Um,
What about the dude from the Patriot?
the dude from the Patriot?
Yeah, Jason. Isn't Jason Isaacs the villain in the Patriot? Is that based on a real person? I don't know.
I don't know specifically. I mean, there's a lot of historical figures in that. Cornwall is in that.
Matt, I think you might be down with this. What about a prequel for Lotsa Bear from Toy Story?
Sure.
Like exploring. We saw his version of the story, but what actually happened? How did this all happen to him? How did he turn evil in this way?
Yeah.
He kind of, because people loved that bear before it turned evil, and having of course Ned Beatty. I don't think he's with us anymore, but It would
Oh, we
be
got this wrong the last time we were talking about Night Court, and someone tweeted me that, hey, not everybody you thought was dead in that show
oh,
is dead.
Richard
I'm almost
Wallace.
99.9% sure that Mr. Beatty passed. Yeah,
So yeah, he did
last June he
last
passed.
year, yeah, or 2021, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, you could find a Ned Beatty sound alike that could play Lotsa Bear as a younger bear. That could be real interesting to explore as a offshoot of the Toy Story movies. They did the Lightyear film, which didn't really do well at the box office, but a Lotso Bear would be a fun film or a series even to explore and see how he slowly becomes what he becomes, and it becomes tragic, and by the end, what he becomes. So that could be real interesting.
All right. I know we're supposed to steer clear of the Star Wars and all those things,
Okay.
and I think this one kind of falls into that. But
Yeah.
what was the home world of the Xenomorph like?
Ooh, for Alien.
Yeah. How did they
Mm.
escape this world? Because it's not
Oh,
like
that's
they
good.
create any technology on their own. They
Yeah, yeah,
just
yeah.
consume everything
Mhm.
around them like the most, vicious virus of all time.
Yeah.
So was it somebody else doing what Riser and others have done and seeing the weaponized potential of this
Yeah. Yeah,
and pulling it off?
we're always so obsessed with Alien prequels being about the Wayland Corporation or David, and what we're getting here with Ridley Scott and what he's doing.
Yeah.
It could be fascinating to go the other route and explore the prequel or the origins of the Xenomorph Planet, how that all came to be. I mean, that'd be a hell of a challenge,
Because
man, because there have to be good Xenomorphs and bad Xenomorphs, I would imagine,
or
in that
there's
society.
just like we have here, there's a balance. So there's something that kills those.
Yeah. Right.
Because it's not like they're a great white and they only, they're
Yeah.
patrolling around, but they're not just mercilessly ravaging everything they come across.
Right.
So, but they just consumes you. If there's a natural order to it, then there's something that eats them
Yeah. Of course.
or has
Oh,
a natural immunity to like their acid blood and all that jazz.
easy. You're walking real close to Shane Black territory with a super predator. Easy now.
Well, fucking was that in that movie? I don't even remember because I fucking hated that movie so much.
It was in the Predator movie. Yes, the Shane Black did. There was a super predator.
Yeah, no, I remember. It was the dumbest idea. It was so stupid.
Mm.
And then the choice of, hey, Sterling, just chew gum in every fucking scene. Just gnashing on some gum.
That is the least badass thing you can do. Honestly, it really is. Like,
And
after Roddy Piper did that in They Live and said what he said, that iconic line, no one should ever chew gum to be badass in a film ever again. He completely deconstructed it. So it's like, I don't know why anyone would look at someone chewing gum. It doesn't look badass at all. It's lame.
No.
I feel bad for Sterling having to do that.
It's like
Yeah.
Snyder with his toothpick when he chose Schmoedowns and have that stupid fucking toothpick. And you're like, what is this? What affectation are you going for here?
It's Snyder, man. He hasn't had a badass day in his life. Come on.
Yeah, but that's the thing. You're projecting.
Yeah, exactly.
You're like, this is ridiculous, man. Utterly and completely ridiculous. What about a backstory on Spacey's character from Seven?
Ooh. Oh, shit.
Did he get into killing and then eventually create this master plan?
Yeah, I think that would be great. That's actually a really excellent choice because, like I said, people are so obsessed with
Serial killers.
Serial killers. Seeing his genesis would be fascinating for sure. I mean, and especially because you don't have to cast Kevin Spacey, so you avoid that conundrum of having to worry about bringing him back. So you could cast a young kid to play that character. So I'd love that. Are there any female ones? Any female villains?
Let's see. I always like a good female villain because it just goes against the natural maternal association that you make with them. So when they're the villain, the twist on that, if it's a good twist, is just an extra twist of the knife.
Yeah, female villains.
Female villains.
And we're avoiding Disney, obviously, because we've seen the Maleficent and all of that.
Yeah. I think that falls under the Star Wars and all that.
Yeah. And we got Cruella de Vil. We're getting the Ursula one. What about Oren? Is she a villain though? Oren Ishii in Kill Bill? Would that? Well, we got the villain, did we? Got the backstory from her in the film. It was animated. That's right. My bad. Oh, interesting. I'm looking through this list of Regina George. I don't know what I want to see. Hers. I don't know if I want to see the background. We got the Louise Fletcher one that Sarah Paulson was in as a series.
Sure.
Yeah, I don't see too many.
Which I never watched. I heard it was all right.
Which one? Sorry.
The Sarah Paulson.
Oh yeah, no, it was okay. Yeah, it was all right. Yeah. What about? No, I don't. Would Sharon Stone Basic Instinct? Would you want to know her background or her genesis?
I don't, but maybe somebody does.
Yeah.
Plus, it's been so long. Is there much of a demand? Like I don't really care. I haven't seen that movie in so long.
Right.
I
don't see that many, man.
Yeah, I'm racking my brain. It's tough to come up with. I mean, Sharon Stone in Total Recall, but I don't care.
Maybe if we did well, I know, like you said, we got to avoid, or he's asking us to avoid these big things, but I would love a prequel series on Hela, or prequel movie or something like that. Where we
sure.
Right? I mean,
her and Odin,
yeah.
the mural that they show, and be like, well, what was that like?
Yeah. What was that experience like?
Now you're selling us on this great father shit. Well, how did you get the mantle? I hadn't thought about it until it's presented to me.
Right. As soon as you look at the thing, you're like, oh my God.
Yeah, exactly. One man's angel is another man's devil.
Well, and then, of course, powerful men all the time hide shit that they did to get to their positions of power. If enough generations go past, you can kind of you have that disappear into the background, and you just buy the legend or the story of how this person came to be without thinking about what the things that he did or he yet to achieve these things. Yeah.
Yeah, the victors write the history books.
Yeah, exactly.
So,
yeah.
Very rarely is there a conflict where there's a distinct good and bad side that everybody agrees on. So,
yeah. I see the Gone Girl, but we got her background, didn't we, in the film? I feel like
do we need another of, because it seems like it'd be the same thing all over again.
Right.
It's not going to be illuminating, to me at least.
What about Annie Wilkes from Misery?
Oh, Misery?
Yeah.
That could be a good one.
Right.
Has she done this before?
Right. Well, I mean, we know her past with the babies and stuff, because when he's looking through the clippings and reading about her back. So let's see that series where she does the things that she does. Because there was an element of that in the most recent series of season of Fargo, with Jesse Buckley's character being a nurse that does some pretty evil shit at the hospitals, and no one can quite figure out who's doing it until later on in the season. But
yeah, there's stories of those Black Angel or whatever nurses that.
Yeah, it's sick. It's super sick, man. Okay, is there any more you want to add to this one?
No, but great question.
Yeah, thank you, Fred.
Yeah, we probably keep going on that, but we'll take a quick break before we jump into the next one. Hear this word from our sponsor. Be back right after this.
Okay, we're back. Let's go to Tim Williams here, Matt. Big fan of the show here. Tim says, "G'day, blokes. Hope you had a good Christmas and New Year's. Blokes, something that has always interested me is the, quote, Mandela Effect. I've been blown away so many times when I hear a new one. Heard a new one recently. Well, I don't know if this is one, but I was just made aware the Uncharted movie came out in 2022. Feels like it came out 4 years ago to me. What the shit? So what are some that have tricked you, or do you have good ones yourself? Stay safe and healthy, blokes. Hooroo." The Mandela Effect? What is that? I don't think I know that one. What is the Mandela Effect?
It's the son of a gun
situation.
It's like where
sorry,
like the general belief that something is, and it's just it's like a through gossip, not gossip, but discussion and whatnot. And we all kind of almost manifest it into our collective reality, even though it never happened. So it's like certain things like, oh yeah, that such and such did this, and we all think that.
Wow.
Kind of like Darth Vader to Luke in Empire.
Mm-hmm.
And everybody was misquoting that line for years and years and years because we collectively thought it was one thing. And if
Yeah.
you go back and watch it, that's not what he says.
Gotcha.
I believe that's the Mandela effect.
Yeah, it says
Could
here
be
it
wrong.
refers to a situation in which a large mass of people believes an event occurred when it did not. This was originated in 2009 by Fiona Broom after she discovered that she, along with a number of others, believed that Nelson Mandela had died in the 1980s when he actually died in 2013. That is fascinating.
How could he have died in the 1980s?
I guess because he was in prison and people just thought he's died in the 1980s. And there
Yeah,
wasn't
but
much
then he
information.
gets out and helps end apartheid and
Yeah, I mean,
becomes the first black president of South Africa. And
you're saying he did a lot, Matt. You're saying he did a
although
lot.
now South Africa is teaming with Russia and China to do some war games, so
Oof.
that's always fun.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's all over, man. We're just slowly,
yeah.
rearranging chairs. She created a website to detail her observance of the phenomenon. I would say people have a mass belief that Tim Burton directed Nightmare Before Christmas. I think that's still a very well held belief by a lot of people outside maybe our circle of hardcore film lovers, which is a small circle, by the way, comparison to other people who the rest of the world who watches films. I think people still believe that. Does that qualify?
Maybe.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know. Because I found some website called verywellmind.com. Great name, guys.
Ooh.
They list the Star Wars one.
Okay.
Henry VIII eating a turkey leg?
Sorry about that. Yeah, there's a picture of Henry VIII eating a turkey leg. Yeah.
No such painting ever existed. So there you go. You are subject to a Mandela effect right there.
Wow.
Mirror, mirror on the wall. Actually, is never said, apparently. It's magic
Oh,
mirror on the wall.
interesting.
All
I
right.
see.
Now here's
Yeah,
one.
go ahead.
The Berenstein Bears.
Yes.
And some people, yeah. So it's the Berenstain Bears.
Right.
I swear to God, it was the Berenstein Bears when I was a kid. And they're saying it never was. And that's a bunch of bullshit. It was Berenstein. I wish I had those books. Call bullshit on that. I'm not believing that one. I'm falling into that trap of even if you give me evidence and proof, I am nope. Swear to God, it was the Berenstein Bears. That's what everybody called it. That's what I remember calling it. I owned a number of those books. You're telling me it was the Berenstain Bears? Nah, that's baloney.
So a lot of these are spelling things like you just brought up because Flintstones and Flintstones, Cheez-It versus Cheez-Its.
It's, isn't it?
Yeah, Cheez-Its. Yeah, ITZ.
Yeah.
Oh no, actually I think it's IT, but people go plural with it. Yeah, it's Cheez-It, but people say Cheez-Its.
Oh, it's because there's who can eat one Cheez-It? I
don't
can't. They're so delicious. Cheez-Its are a favorite.
Yeah.
And I don't ever buy them because I will finish that fucking box.
Yeah.
And then look at the nutrition label and just realize that I ate 3 Big Macs.
Just weep.
Yeah, in one setting.
Yeah, because like Skechers, some people swear Skechers has a T before the C.
What?
Yeah. Or Oscar Mayer versus Oscar Mayer. It is Oscar.
It's Mayer, isn't it?
It's Oscar Mayer, Mayer. But people think it's Oscar, but people pronounce it Oscar Mayer.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah, I was
Yeah.
in my head when you were saying Meyer, I was still spelling it with an A.
Yeah. Sex in the City, Sex and the City. It's Sex in the City. Oh, he never says play it again, Sam. He says play it once, Sam, for old time's sakes. So he never says play it again, yet people have said he says.
Here's one for you. Does Mickey Mouse wear suspenders?
Oh my God, that's a great question. No.
Correct.
Okay.
Some people swear he wears suspenders, and in my head, I was like, I can't even visualize him with suspenders. That one's a lot of these I understand. That one's pretty
Yeah.
easy for me, but that's me, you know.
They got a Forrest Gump one. Life. He says life was like a box of chocolates, but people say life is like a box of chocolates. It's is
Really, it's past tense.
yeah, was. That's what he says on the bench.
Life was like a box of chocolate. Why is he talking like he's dead?
I don't know.
He's like what 35 in that movie when he's
Yeah.
on the bench,
I think so.
maybe
yeah.
40.
Yeah.
That's fatalistic.
Yeah, Luke, I'm your father. Oh, right. Hello, Clarice. He never says hello, Clarice. All he said was good morning.
What
For
website are you on?
Silence of the Lambs. Goodhousekeeping.com.
Okay. It's
There's some deceptively good people who work for that place, man.
oh yeah.
Freddie does sing the words of the song to the band's. So he in the song "We Are the Champions," we all think Freddie. We all think of Freddie belting out "Of the World" at the end of "We Are the Champions," but it never happened. He does sing the words at the end of the song during the band's famous Wembley Stadium performance. I don't know that. I could swear he says "Of the World."
He fucking does.
Right?
He fucking does. Because I haven't. It's not like every time I've heard that song, it's the live version. It's not.
Yeah.
It closes out that piano bum 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 of the world.
Wow.
Yeah, that's nonsense.
Okay, so this one absolutely this might fall into what Timothy was asking because this blows my mind. Sinbad never played a genie. Several people can attest that I distinctly remember seeing Sinbad in a movie called Shazam, but they're confusing this memory with the movie Kazam starring Shaquille. I could swear on my own life that Sinbad was in a genie movie. Yet, I guess he never was. Fuck, that's kind of crazy. Holy shit.
In Monopoly, Rich Uncle Pennybags, does he
Yeah.
wear a monocle or not?
Shit. No.
Correct.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I don't because when you get the Go card or whatever, or yeah, the yellow card, a community chat, whatever it is, I don't remember seeing a monocle. So interesting. Oh, and Sally Field never said you like me, you really like me, like Jim Carrey did in The Mask. She says, I can't deny the fact that you like me right now. You like me.
Okay.
He's not called Smokey the Bear. He is Smokey Bear. That's what he's called.
That's one of those, like, as soon as you say it, be like, oh, yeah.
Oh, really? Perhaps something. Okay. Weird. All right. Yeah, a lot of people thought Neil Armstrong had died before he died in 2012. That's weird. Okay. All right. Should we do? I think that's enough, right? Should we do one more?
Yeah, I'm just going through now reading Mandela Effect.
Oh, yeah, right.
Yeah, I found a list and I'm just going through.
Yeah.
Another one that says the "We Are the Champions."
Oh, people think that the Lindbergh baby was never found, but he was. They found the body and sentenced the killer to death.
Well, there's a whole conspiracy.
Oh, really?
Culture around all of that stuff, is there not?
I don't remember there being one. I mean, the John F. Kennedy Jr. one is beyond hilarious, but I don't know anything about the Lindbergh one.
I know so very little about that entire episode. So that's just cobbling from memory of, like, in that part of my brain that has Lindbergh baby stuff, there's like some clouds like, isn't there a conspiracy theory about who did what and all of that stuff? And just like, I don't know. I've never been interested in it, so I've never really committed anything to memory.
Fair enough.
Okay, what did it happen in 1915, 1920? I don't give a shit.
Yeah, it's way back when.
Yeah. I like the big historical things from that, not the pop culture stuff.
Right.
Even though that's not saying it's a historical event, but it's more a culture driven as opposed to, oh, this war, the
Yeah.
Great Depression, the Dust Bowl, World War One. Those are the things I kind of fixate upon.
I like the Jiffy one.
What's that?
I say Jiffy peanut butter. I do not say Jif. There is no
Uh,
such thing as Jiffy peanut butter.
yeah, it's Jif. I knew
It's
that much.
Jif. Wow. I totally say it. I get it at the Target. I get the Jiffy all the time. How funny.
I get the if I'm up for it, I get the no sugar added stuff
Oh, okay. Right on.
because it's already got a little bit of sugar in it. Just like I don't need the extra.
All right, we're at 31 minutes. Do you want to answer one more or should we roll on?
Let's call it a show for today. I think.
Okay. Let's do it. Well, thank you all so much for listening to this episode of Topic Thunder. We appreciate it madly, especially as we're winding down the show. We appreciate y'all even more listening to us than ever. Matt, what do we have to tell them before we wrap up here?
You can follow the show on Twitter at Top 10 Show and on YouTube. What's that?
If you feel like it.
Why not get it in before the wire?
Yeah, that's right.
And on YouTube and Instagram, it's / the Top 10 Podcast. And you can follow me anywhere at Matt Nost.
You can follow me at The Roca Says. All right, y'all take care of yourselves. Be well. And we'll talk to you next time with another brand new episode of Topic
Thunder.